Hi guys, today I'm going to try on a couple of the newly released, it's the Tilbury Hypnotising Pop Shots. I've picked up two of these. These were available at Mecca here in New Zealand. I've also got a third one on the way because for me they were first released and available at Beautylish, and I am still waiting for that package. And I also got the Tilbury face palette as well. So when those both arrive, I'll do another video on those. So the packaging on these are just really beautiful. I think it is just super cute, and I think these are absolutely ideal for holiday, and I'll open them up in a minute, but the actual packaging of them is really gorgeous too. So the two shades that I picked up were Sunlit Diamond and the other one is Smoky Quartz. So what I was thinking for today's video is that I'll try one on each eye, and then for the third look I will pair one of these with matte eyeshadow as well, because when I first saw these I thought they were gorgeous, but I knew that when I was going to use them for everyday makeup I would use them with matte eyeshadow as well. So these are limited edition shades, and they have the colour coding on the back and on the top there. So I'll take one out. I know there's been quite a few videos on this already, but I'll still show you what the packaging is like because I think it's really lovely. Probably one of the better holiday packaging that has come out so far. So these little cuties, they have 1.2 grams of product and they have a shelf life of 24 months from date of opening. This one is Smoky Topaz, and I already have swatched these for Instagram, but here is the shade Smoky Topaz. This shade compared to the other one, when I've swatched it, has felt a lot smoother going on, and I just think this is a really beautiful everyday shade. Absolutely gorgeous. And then the other shade, that one is Sunlit Diamond. So I'll just take that one out of its packaging as well. And the packaging on the front is really beautiful. It's got those coloured jewel type of embossing on the front, and I just think it's really pretty. So I'll just open Sunlit Diamond up. So this is the one that felt, they still feel smooth, but this one just felt, when I was swatching it, just a little bit chunkier on the arm, but I think this is a really beautiful shade as well. And the price of these singles are 34 American dollars each, and in New Zealand they retail for $56. Two of these shades are exclusive to the Tilbury site, which is a shame because there is a lighter shade that I would have loved to have gotten, but I can't order directly from the Tilbury site. So it's a real shame that I can't get my hands on that one. So I've already got all my base makeup on. Now for my foundation, I am wearing the Tilbury. It's the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. This one is a more full coverage foundation, and this one is a little bit more mattifying, but it's now spring here in New Zealand and the temperatures are definitely getting warmer, so I tend to lean more towards the more soft matte foundations. And this one is in the shade 6 Warm, and I'm actually glad that I'm wearing a full coverage foundation today because this morning I tried out a different cleanser that I hadn't tried before, and it's a Good Molecules one, and it's the salicylic acid foaming cleanser, and I use salicylic acid every single morning. I use the Paula's Choice one because I have oily skin, and I just find it amazing for just cleaning out your pores. It's really deep cleaning and I just love it. So I thought I would give this Good Molecules one a go. So it says not to use it on your eyes, which I didn't do. So when I was in the shower, it just pumps out into a foam, and I put it on and was only really washing my face for about 20 or 30 seconds because I had done all my skincare the night before. So it's really just to give my skin a quick clean, and that was all good. But then when I started to rinse it off, it felt more than the tingling sensation that you can get with some acids for your face. This started to almost feel like it was burning a bit, and I thought that was a little bit unusual. And then when I got out of the shower and had a look in the mirror, my face was bright red. Now I have really robust skin. I think it's pretty robust. It can put up with most things. I use retinol nearly every single night and different acids as well, not just the salicylic acid, but also AHAs as well. But there's just something in this cleanser, considering it's one you're just washing your face for 20-30 seconds and then you rinsing it off, to give it that effect on my skin. And the redness, it may have gone down now, but now I've got all my foundation on, so I'm not sure. But even about 2 hours later, it was still not as red as it was initially, but it was fairly red. So I'm just going to have to watch it for 2 or 3 days, because my skin barrier could be a bit compromised. And if it is, I'm just going to strip everything down to the very basics. I'll just be cleansing, putting on an essence, and then a really calming moisturizer. But I'll just see how it reacts with my different products tonight. So I've also got a little bit of contour on today. This is the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Hollywood Contour Wand. And out of all the contours that I have, and I don't have a lot of them because I don't tend to contour very much, this is probably my most favorite, and I also think it's the most forgiving as well. So I put my foundation on today using the Beauty Blender, and once I put the contour just in here and through here, I use the Beauty Blender to blend it out as well. It's just a really beautiful contour. For bronzer, I use the Tom Ford one. This is in the shade Terra. I hadn't reached for it for a while, and it is a really lovely bronzer. For my face powder, I've got on the Sisley face powder. And for the concealer under my eyes, I'm using the new Chanel Sublimage one, and I love it. It's such a beautiful concealer. I've now done 2 videos on it. I will put links up there if you're interested to take a look. But for my mature skin, it's definitely my #1 concealer now. It's really, really beautiful. So I'll just swatch both of these shadows on the back of my hand so you can take a look at them. And as I'm swatching them again, the Smoky Topaz definitely feels a lot more smooth. The other one, the Sunlit Diamond, sort of feels a bit more chunky, so I imagine there'll be a little bit of fallout with that one. So this one is Smoky Topaz and this is Sunlit Diamond. They are both really beautiful shades. And I also forgot to mention that I have got eyeshadow primer on. It's the MAC Paint Pot one, and it is in the shade Painterly. So I'm going to start off with Smoky Topaz first. I'm going to put that on my left eye. And I'm going to take the Sonia G, it's the Classic Crease, and I'm just going to put this all over my lid. And then what I will do is also use my finger just to get a little bit more payoff just over the eyelid here. But initially I just want to use the brush just so we can have a look at these shadows just as a one and done look. So this shadow is super smooth going on as well. This is quite a fluffy brush and getting a decent amount of payoff considering that this is a fluffy brush, and it has a really beautiful sparkle to it. It doesn't seem to be emphasizing the texture on my eyelids. It's a really lovely shade. Then I'm going to take the Sonia G, this is the pencil one, and I'm also going to put this shade on my lower lash line as well. And I don't seem to, I'm just having a good look, but I don't seem to be getting any fallout with the shadow. I didn't think I would, considering how it's swatched, but I do think I'm going to get a little bit with the other shade. I'll just be a little bit more careful putting that one on. And then I'm just going to put a little bit more shadow on using my finger just over my lid here, just to get some more payoff. And you can see you definitely get more payoff using your finger. I imagine you would too if you used a wet brush, but this is a super simple look to do, and I think it looks really, really beautiful. I love this shade. So I am going to add a little bit more definition just to the upper lash line and on the lower one as well. So I've grabbed the Charlotte Tilbury, it's the Super Nudes Easy Eye Palette. This is really lovely, and just really beautiful shades in here. This is a really gorgeous palette. I used it last week just all on its own without any shimmers, and it is really beautiful. Of course, you can use any sort of neutral matte eyeshadow that you have. So I'm going to take the Sonia G, this is the soft definer, and I'm going to go into this shade here, and I'll just put a little bit of that on my lower lash line. And I'm also going to use that shade as well, just to give definition to my upper lash line as well. So now on the other eye, I'm going to put on Sunlit Diamond. I will go in first using the Sonia G, the Classic Crease. I just want to see if there's any fallout with this one. This is a really beautiful shade too. So I'm just going to do exactly the same and just see how it goes. And there is a little bit of fallout with the shadow. It's not a lot. There is one or two little sparkles down here. I thought there was going to be more than that, but this seems to be blending really well, even though it doesn't feel quite as smooth as the other shadow. It is a really beautiful shade. So I'm just adding a little bit more just to get some more payoff. And again, I will use my finger in a minute just to add some more on my lid. And then again, just taking the pencil one, I am going to put some of this on my lower lash line as well. It's going to be a little bit more careful. I don't really want any glitter in my eyes, but it should be okay. And then just go in with my finger and just tap a little bit more of the shade on my lid. And you can see the extra payoff you get. And then I'm just going to use that same shade again from this palette here, just to give a little bit of, just a little bit more definition to my lower lash line. Now when I used my finger to put that extra shadow on, I did get quite a bit of fallout through here. So I think if I was going to use this again, I would probably use a more smaller, dense brush, just so I've got a little bit more control over the shadow. So now that I've got some mascara on, you can see what these look like as basically one and done shadows. I think out of the two, for a one and done look for me, I prefer the Smoky Topaz to this colour, but this colour I think with some matte eyeshadows would be absolutely stunning. So I think that's what I'll do for my third and final look. I'll use the Charlotte Tilbury, that Super Nudes palette, and then add this shade as well. I think it's going to look really, really pretty. And there is a little bit of fallout with the shadow, but when I use it for my third look, what I'm going to do is wet the brush or put the shadow on the brush and then wet it. I'm probably going to get a lot less fallout, and the brush that I'll use will be more dense, and I just think by doing that probably won't get the same amount of the fallout. The Smoky Topaz is gorgeous. They are both very glittery. They are sparkly. Well, I wouldn't say glittery is that there's huge fallout or that it looks chunky in any way. I just think it gives a really beautiful sparkle. I think these are gorgeous eyeshadows for the holidays. Absolutely perfect for that. I think they look really lovely. So now I'm just going to wash these off, and then when I come back, we'll do the third and final look. So I've given all my brushes a wipe down. I'm going to take the Sonia G, the Classic Crease, and I'm going to start off with this shade here. And I'm just going to put that all over my lid and take it above through the crease and quite high on the brow bone as well. Then I'm going to take the Rapha 14, go into this shade here, and I'm just going to put this in my crease, and I'll take it slightly above as well. Then I'm going to take the Sonia G, the soft definer, go into this shade here and I'm going to put this on my lower lash line. Then I'm going to use the Rapha 14 again and go into the shade here, and I'm going to put this on my outer corner, and I'm also going to take this through the crease and just slightly above as well. And then I'm just going to use that same shade with the pencil one and just put some of that just in the outer corner through here, my lower lash line. And now I'm going to use the Sunlit Diamond. I've got the Sonia G. This is the Builder Pro. So I'm going to put some of the shade on my brush first, and then I'm going to spray it. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury, the setting spray. This one here. This is the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. And then I'm just going to carefully place that on, and then I'm just going to have a quick look to see, and there doesn't seem to be any fallout, so as there was when I just used it just with a brush and then my finger. So you get a little bit more control out of the shadow by wetting the brush, and you get more payoff with it as well. And then I'm going to put some of this shade on my lower lash line as well. I'm going to use the same brush and just use this edge and just see how that goes. So it just gives just a little bit of a sparkle just through here. Then I'm just going to take the pencil one again, and I'm going to go into the deepest shade here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of this in the very outer corner. And then I'm going to use the deeper shade again, and I'm going to use this to give some definition to my upper lash line. For blush today, I'm going to use the Pillow Talk. This is the Lip and Cheek Glow, and this one is Colour of Dreams. This is a Sonia G brush, one of her fusion brushes, and I'm still waiting to get the eye set, the fusion one that was released not too long ago. Again, I'm waiting on a delivery from Beautylish, so who knows when they will turn up. And this one is the Classic Base. I love these fusion face set brushes. I use them every single day. Not every brush every single day, but I do use at least one or two of them every single day. This colour blush is really, really beautiful. And I was having a look through the Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks that I do have, and all of them tend to lean a little bit pink, and I don't think that would really go with this eye look. So I just grabbed the Chanel Coco Flash one. This is in the shade Boy. So this is just a very simple nude colour. So I am loving the finished look. I think together the pop shot and also with the nudes, I think that the finished look is really, really beautiful. I'm not really one for wearing one and done shadows that are sparkly all on their own. I do wear a lot of eyeshadows that have shimmer and sparkle in them, but I do like them when they are mixed with matte eyeshadows as well. And this Super Nudes palette is really beautiful, and it blends really beautifully too. Of course, you don't need this one. You can mix and match with any matte eyeshadows that you have. If I was going to decide between which one, if I was going to wear one on their own, it would be the Smoky Topaz, mainly because it's a little bit more smoother going on the lid, and I just think it's a bit less glittery looking than the Sunlit Diamond, although the Sunlit Diamond, now that I've got it together with the mattes and just through here, I think it looks really beautiful. And I did get less fallout. I might have got a little bit, but a lot less using a brush and when it was wet down. And of course, you get more payoff as well. So I think that these pop shots are super cute. I think the packaging is really, really beautiful. And there was also a shade that a lot of people have reviewed, and it is the blue one. And I could have got hold of that one, but I knew just by looking at the shade, it probably would look beautiful on, but it's not one that I would reach for my everyday makeup, so I decided to pass on it. But I am getting the other shade, hopefully soon, the rose one. And when I also receive the Charlotte Tilbury face palette, I will use the face palette and I'll also use that other single eyeshadow as well. And even though the Sunlit Diamond is a little bit more chunkier than the Smoky Topaz, they both blended really, really beautifully. And of course you do get more payoff when you use your finger or a brush that's been dampened down as well. It really depends what type of look that you want. But all together with the shadow and this beautiful coloured blush and the nude lipstick, I think it's a really lovely look. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Bye.